Hi, and thank you for joining us again today, listeners. Again, I have another fabulous person here to introduce you to. His name is Simon Severino. Hi, and welcome, Simon.
Hi, Sonia. So cool to be here.
Oh, it's fabulous having you here, all the way from Vienna in Austria compared to Australia. So a little bit of a time difference there. And you're probably getting you're getting all the sunshine there. And we're starting to get it quite dark here now in Melbourne. A little bit feeling not jealous, but I like the fact that you're getting into the warmer weather because we're still just coming out of the cold and I had enough. So listeners, let me tell you about Simon. He is the CEO of Strategy Sprints. So Strategy Sprints is Europe's leading remote growth consultancy organization. And Simon himself is a podcast host of the Strategy Show. So he's done over 100 interviews and postings there. So he likes to keep very productive. And he's also done over 200 keynotes. So he's very, very active in getting out and about and trying to help as much as possible all of the entrepreneurs out there, and certainly with his speciality, which we will find out a whole lot more about today. So Simon and his organization likes to focus on doubling your revenue particularly for service-based businesses in 90 days. Love the sound of that. Have to ask him more. And I'll also have another little trick up my sleeve, another funny question that I'm going to ask him, seeing that he was recently interviewed by JLD, John Lee Dumas, and I thought, there's something I want to talk and ask Simon about. So we're going to put you under the microscope, Simon. So first and foremost, Simon, if you could just tell the listeners a little bit about your story.
Sure. So I was born in Rome and I live now in Vienna, Austria with my wife and my kids. And we live right beside the zoo. And so we're always at the zoo. And our current favorite animal is the cheetah, because my kids were asking, "Hey, Siri, who is the fastest animal?" And Siri said, "The fastest animal in the animal kingdom is the sprinter under the animals." And when I heard sprinter, we fall in love. Everybody is now in love with the cheetahs. So this is what we do. And as you were telling how many keynotes I give and podcast episode, it was like I'm working a lot, but I just work a couple hours a day.
Oh,
We have good
okay.
systems. We have good systems in place, and we have good teams, and we have effective processes. I don't work so much. Yes, we create a lot, but we have found a way to do it in a very healthy way, in a flow way. We can unpack that together. So I have been doing 17 years of growth consulting, meaning BMW will call, we need a new strategy and an implementation. We need to either defend market shares or gain market shares. What can we do to differentiate? And I would put together a team. We fly there. 3 weeks later, we have their top 20. And then we create a strategy, a market strategy. We implement that in around 6 to 8 months. And that was traditional growth strategy. And many things about that I did dislike. The first one was that they have to wait for 3 weeks before the first workshop starts, because you have to find out through their calendars when these top executives have time to do a 3 days workshop. And so you land at least 4 weeks later, if not 6 months later. So the first delay. The second thing that I disliked was that you are stuck for 3 days in one format of a workshop, which is not natural at all. A much more natural flow is to be 2 hours working on a paper, then put it out there, give it to your clients, then go and play with your kids, go to the zoo for 2 hours, enjoy life, then come back and see what the clients are saying, and then iterate on that, right? put your team together. Let's say, okay, what do we learn from these numbers? Oh, we have just 17% click rate. Why is it? And then you do a second draft. And then let's say you sprint for 3 hours, but then you do some sports, you do something you like with your friends. And then again, you do 2 hours of maybe administrative work. To me, that is a much better flow of a day, much more natural. So I was like, can we reinvent this? Can we make it better? And this is how we came up with the remote growth consultancy. So 3 years ago, I said, all right, let's do it. I have it now in my head, completed. Let's build it. Let's put it out there. And so we created a 90-day one-to-one coaching program that I validated for 17 years, every single module, but now I have it all together. And so 3 years ago, we said, let's do this. And we went out there, and it's the 90-day strategy sprints, a one-on-one coaching for 90 days for service-based business owners. And it really helps them regain their life, regain a better flow, and improve their revenue and the health of their business. That's how I came up with this.
Nice. I like how you were saying with the flow and being a lot more natural than forcing it and then sitting down for extensive periods of time and things like that. And really, that's actually technically that's part of the incubation period when you're coming up with innovation and with creativity. And a lot of people don't realize that is a stage, the incubation, and a lot of people, and especially creatives, really do need to go off and do something completely different. And we've seen it time and time again, a lot of the times, even with our kids. And yet, but when we become more into adults and we get into big corporate business, we tend to force the flow of how things do happen. And everyone's completely different. And I really like the idea that you're helping service-based businesses. So when you're saying that, is that a typically small, medium, large, micro? What sort of what type of businesses, I suppose I want to ask?
Yeah, there are small businesses. The smallest are doing around 25K per month. They are just starting out and are validated and need help in growing and scaling. And the biggest are doing 20 millions a month. But it's small and medium sized. And we work with the business owner, so the CEO. And she has a lot on her plate, right? Especially in the first years. She's every department. She's the fulfillment, she's sales, she's marketing. And when we come in, the first thing in the first 2 weeks that we do is getting the CEO out of the weeds. And this is cool because we do an analysis with them of what they're doing and what they can delegate more. And then they say, yeah, but I love coding. And okay, this is what brought you here, but this is not what will get you to the next evolutionary step of your company. If you stay there, this is a very natural limit to your revenue, and with that, also with the quality of your life. Because at the end, we want them to have a great life. We are freedom people. I told you, I go to the zoo with my kids every day. So to me, it's really important. I do also exercise every day. I do reading every day. This is important for me. I wouldn't cut there. So first 2 weeks, we find out where they are really investing their time and what can they more delegate, systemize, cut. So we free up 10 to 14 hours per week of their time. And with that new time, a little bit of that goes into exercise and family and friends, but a little bit of that goes into working on the business. So instead of working in the business, on the business, form, fit, and function of the operations, form, fit, and function of sales, form, fit, and function of marketing. And when we work on form, fit, and function, you get more distance, you see the whole thing, and now you are in the business of business. And this is the job of the CEO. So sometimes they don't know that they are a CEO yet because they were just passionate about what they do. So they were the expert, they were the main the main fulfillment engine, and it's great. And this is how you start. Maybe I share my story of how I started. So I did this for 17 years and then said, okay, let's do it on my own. Start my own company. Of course, first year I was coaching. So these 90 days, I was doing the whole coaching.
Yeah.
And I was also doing the sales, which was not so hard because people were calling me. They were knowing me already for what I do. It was just without flying. So it was just online. So it was even easier for them. They just open their computer and I'm there. So I was doing fulfillment and sales and marketing and product development and IT and legal and everything.
Yeah.
Worst year of my life. Uh, and my wife said, hey, you went on your own to have more freedom and now you're working even more. What's going on there? So the highlight of my first year was that I could manage not to work on weekends anymore.
That was the
That's
best
how intense the
celebration.
first year.
Yay!
Yeah,
That's
that was
good.
not a good year. Not a good year. But then second year, and yeah, we have to go through that at the beginning. And then, but I learned that as soon as you can, you get out of fulfillment. So I started hiring a VA. She took over the admin stuff. And then I outsourced all financials like invoicing, bookkeeping, etc. And then the very important thing was to get out of fulfillment. So I had to, the impact that I was giving, it was not Simon, it was the tools that over 17 years I have collected and optimized and curated. So I got them out of my head. I created videos and templates, etc. A whole sprint university of 274 videos and templates.
Wow.
So I just put it out of your head. And everybody listening right now who is doing fulfillment, you don't know it, but you are a whole university.
Yes.
You have it in your head because you're doing this since 5 years, since 10 years. You have so much knowledge and jewels there, but they are stuck in your head or in your heart. Put them out of your head and out of your heart and put them in a tangible form. It can be an online course, whatever is helpful. Get them out of you and put them out there. So what I did, I created this print university. And so many things with our client, for example, the blue ocean strategy, how you can differentiate yourself. I wouldn't teach it anymore. I would just say, hey, here's the video. It's a 5-minute video. Then you grab the template, start with these 3 things. And then when we meet next week in our coaching call, then we discuss how it went. So they did a draft, they tested it with their clients, and now we discuss how it went. Much better flow of our coaching. So, and then I set myself a limit. I said, after the 12th client, I will hand over. I will not do client number 13. Because otherwise you hang in there, because it's nice. It's wonderful to coach people. They give so much emotion back.
Well, it's addictive too, isn't it? Really, I think I've seen a lot of people, they enjoy it so much that they, it's addictive because they get several different things back from that. And this is the thing, absolutely, I'm hearing everything you're saying so far, and I'm like, yeah, tick, tick, that's so fabulous. But there's a lot of people, they don't really want to be the CEO. They want to still be the technician. They still want to be in the business, not so much on the business, which is one of my other questions I was going to ask you. But I love the stream that you're on. So I'm sorry I interrupted. Keep going.
No. Seth Godin has a very great blog on that. He said there's one blog of Seth Godin where he says, "Are you a freelancer or an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Decide.
Yeah.
And pick one and go with it." So Seth himself, in some cases, he is a freelancer. When he does his podcast, he's a freelancer. He does his podcast all alone. It's very lean, but he doesn't spend anything. So then really keep it lean and don't expect to grow. And then in some other things, like his Akimbo workshops, etc., he's an absolute entrepreneur. He does nothing. It's a whole system that works without him. But he never does the middle. And I think this is important. Pick one. You either are a wonderful freelancer or you are a wonderful entrepreneur. But don't do both at once, because that's not a clean cut. So pick one and enjoy it. And both have their pros and cons. I also thought that I'm a freelancer because I enjoyed the fulfillment so much. And I thought, hey, this is my emotional, this is what feeds me, or this is what feeds my soul, to be in contact with people and to help them grow. This is really the, let's say, the spiritual food exchange that my soul needs. And then I had a business coach. He challenged me and he said, Simon, I think you will have enough food from other sources when you have then to coach your coaches, when you have to go out there and find joint venture partners, when you have to go out there and find franchisees or affiliate partners, etc. You will still have this way of connecting to people and of creating something out of nothing, which you love. And I was like, that's true. It doesn't end just if you give up fulfillment.
Yeah.
So I can tell you what happened. I find the first 3 coaches to certify. So I put up a school pipeline, a 6 weeks certification pipeline, and a price tag on that, because I wanted to have very committed people. And I said, okay, if you are entrepreneurs and if you have exited one business with success, you can become now a coach. You can still be an entrepreneur, but 20% of your time, 30% of your time, you coach entrepreneurs. Who's in it? And I got a lot of applications. And then I gave them access to the Sprint University. I coached them, I trained them. And when they were ready, they got their first clients. So exactly at client 12, I was out of fulfillment. And from 13 on, they were rocking it. And they are doing it better than I was doing it. They are having a great impact. We measure progress every 7 days. So we measure the revenue, primary metric, revenue, secondary metric, team confidence in achieving the goals of next week. Third metric, how happy is the client, NPS. So we have these 3 numbers every 7 days. So this is for me to know that it's going well. And every Monday, all coaches come together. We go through all clients. I see these numbers. I see if they're going up or not. And if they're not going up, I'm stepping in. And so I know that it's going well because I see the numbers every 7 days. So it is more a fantasy. I am so critical. Without me, nothing is possible. Not true.
It's look, it sounds so, I'm visualizing it all. It sounds so great and it sounds so awesome. And yes, there are people doing this, but I think that it's you've brought into it a lot more of a structure and particular processes, and that's what makes a business thrive. So what you're doing, and then you're emulating it to others, and they're continuing on doing that and doing it for their clients, that is going to help get everyone their success and results. And it's fabulous that you're checking in on it every 7 days and making sure that it continues, which is so awesome. The amount of times I have said, look, systems, it comes down to systems. At the end of the day, I've seen so many businesses implode that if they've not done the systems, I know it's not sexy to sell systems, but you need to have systems. And to get that IP, to get that information out of your head, like you said, and put it down and make it something tangible. I think there's a lot of I've seen a lot of not only business owners, but also their staff, if they've grown substantially and very, very fast, how do they still go about getting it out and systemizing it and creating these products as they're growing along? Because sometimes some businesses, they can grow too fast, too quickly. and they haven't got then the systems behind them. And then other ones that have been so slow because all they're doing is concentrating on systems instead of the top of the funnel. There's the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, the bottom of the funnel. So it sounds like you take people on a journey all the way through that funnel. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. We work from awareness, nurturing, close opportunity, preparing for closing, and then upselling, cross-selling. That's what we work on with our clients. And we always just solve one bottleneck after the other, because it's important. As I told you, last 4 weeks, I just worked 1 hour per day. But we are in 4 continents. We are helping a ton of people every week.
Mm-hmm.
But we can do it in a focused, calm way, because we analyze what the current our current fulfillment looks like, and then we ask for the NPS. So what's not working, what's missing, what's working really, really well, and would you refer us to somebody and why? And with this information, we pick the focus for the next week sprint. So a sprint for us, it's a 7 days work cycle. From Monday to Friday, it's a sprint. And we have only one focus per week. And the whole team works to solve this one bottleneck. And the bottleneck can be in the sales system, or in the marketing system, or in the fulfillment system. And we only work on that. And this is why we are calm and we like it, because first, everybody is on one page, and teams love it when they build something together.
Yeah.
This is so simple, but most people don't do it. They don't know what the others are doing, or they even work against each other or beside each other. And it's so much more fun when you work together on doing something.
So you're saying so you're saying that with your team, is it, and you're working on each of those bottlenecks, the sprint every 7 days for each of their clients, but you're doing it for sales, for example, the sales funnel, but for each of the clients, and everyone works then on that topic, even though they've all got the different clients. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. So with our clients, we help them find the focus for the week, and their team solves one bottleneck.
Yeah.
That's what the coaches do. But I have to, as a CEO, I have to lead all the coaches and the product team and the sales team, etc. So our internal sprints, our own sprints, are also exactly the same.
Yeah.
One focus for 1 week, we solve one bottleneck in 1 week. And we have 3 numbers that we track: the primary metric and the 2 secondary metrics.
I think that sounds awesome, because what that would give way for is the energy, the collaboration, and the focus on the one. You're actually leveraging the energy and the commitment level and focus. I'm all for leverage. I think that's awesome. That's really good, because that's another question I wanted to get into. Because when your business is called Strategy Sprints, and I was curious as to what's your, I suppose, more so methodology around that, because I know of agile methodology sprints, and some of our listeners won't know what that is. And it's, I was curious as to, do you follow those sorts of methods? Maybe you want to explain this a little bit to the listeners. Just to give us a little bit of a deep dive on what you classify as a sprint and what you do with it.
Absolutely. So the agile methods, they are so helpful, but they are just on the product level. So there is no agile method on how to run a company. And we said, okay, let's build it. So we built a framework about how to agilely run a company. And this is the strategy sprint. So what's the opposite? The opposite is workshops, where you talk about stuff, and after the workshop, you have to do stuff.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of a sprint. In a sprint, you don't talk about stuff, you do stuff.
Yeah.
So no prototype, no meeting. That's one thing, the opposite of a workshop. So at the end of the sprint, the work is done. There is no package work package, follow-up, task to define, because it's done. It's built, it's tested, it's decided, it's solved. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, the sprint is a chunk of time, of defined time, in which you work on one thing. So it's the focused energy. That's why the sprinter animal, which we like so much, is the cheetah. And the cheetah stands for this focused energy.
Yes.
You know, short bursts of running, but she runs the fastest in the whole animal kingdom because she's so focused. And it's a short run. Because the temperature gets hot a lot, and she needs to cool down after it. This is exactly the sprint energy. So for 1 week, teams solve one thing, and they don't overwork themselves because they have just one focus. So it's intense, it's done, next. And this is the second thing of the sprints. And if you have a big house, you will fill it with stuff. If you have a small house, you will fill it with less stuff. So when you say this is the time that we give to this task, this is one of our methods, that we say we limit the time that you have to work on one task. So we say, make a draft of your blue ocean strategy, but do not put in more than 30 minutes. And then whatever is there is your first draft. Go out and test it.
Yeah.
So at the end, the sprint is 1 week, one focus on one bottleneck until it's done. And then you measure three things. Revenue, so 3 numbers. Revenue, team confidence level in the goals of next week, and how happy is the client. Yep. 3 numbers, 1 focus, 7 days. This is the shortest description of what the strategy sprint is.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I'm just thinking, again, for the listeners' benefit there, Blue Ocean strategy, maybe you might want to just give a brief description about what that is.
Sure. So one thing we really believe in, as you said, is focus. So when you see the problems of businesses, the problems are they don't get the price that they want, they lose pitches, etc. So it's hard to hire. All these problems have their root cause in not being differentiated enough. If you are differentiated enough, let's say you have your niche, you don't have many of the problems that other people have who are very comparable. So the first thing that we do, week 2, work on their differentiation, break free from competition.
Yep.
Become a category of one. I had a TED talk last week about this. Become a category of one. And the thing that we use is an equalizer, which is inspired by the Blue Ocean strategy methodology, who has created a whole framework to do that. And the equalizer is a simplified version of it, where we go in 30 minutes with our clients through that. We say, okay, what are 8 things that you offer? And then we pick your main competitor and say, where are they currently investing in? Let's say you offer online courses, consulting, and coaching. What is your industry currently investing in? Let's say they are investing in AI-driven data dashboards. So we help you when everybody zigs, we help you zag. If they are investing in technology, can you invest in emotions? Can you invest in speed? If they are investing in speed, can you invest in deepness or transformation level or de-risking or ROI? So when everybody zigs, how can you zag? Pulling their superpower, their uniqueness, and everybody is unique. You know, there is no Simon, there is no second Simon Severino.
Yeah.
There might be the name, but you will see from the far that there is only one. There is only one Sonia Clark.
Yes,
there might be
there's
the name.
A lot of, so common, that's so terrible.
Yeah, but you will immediately find the one Sonia Clark.
Yeah.
You will know, and you will never get it wrong if when you see the essence. That's the point.
Yeah.
And so if you are true to your essence, and if you show it like you are doing, you are building up a podcast, that's
Mm,
how you show up. And
mm,
then nobody will compare you anymore to other Sonia Clarks, because everybody knows this is her voice, this is her essence, this is what she radiates, this is what she stands for.
yep.
And everybody has this. It's just
Building
a
business, making success and a fabulous future for everyone. Come on,
yeah.
people, stop whinging. Let's get solutions happening. And that actually makes me then think about one of your topics that I heard you talk about, which I absolutely love how you pitched it. Your point of differentiation on it. So, I haven't got it in front of me. Focus on the problem and not the solution.
Yeah.
Most people would be going, what? So do you want to maybe explain that a little bit?
Absolutely. Most business owners fall in love with the solution. So you are great at solving a problem. Let's say you work with mothers, and mothers have one problem, that they have limited time during the day. The day flies. So this is a problem they will always have. Now you might have a solution. You have created a calendar for mothers, which is wonderful. And so now you are in love with this calendar. It's going well. You are rolling it out in 17 countries. You are in love with the solution. This is dangerous.
Mm.
Don't. So so stop falling in love with the calendar, because the calendar is just a solution, and it will be substituted by better technologies in a couple of years. Then it will be on their phone, a digital solution. A couple of years later, it will be a pair of glasses that talks to them, or it will be in their watch and it just talks to them. So don't fall in love with the solution, because it will be substituted on a technological level, but fall in love with the problem. So first with the target audience, which is mothers. So write about mother stuff and really be part of that tribe and care and be connected. Curate that intimacy. And their main problem, limited time, will always be there. So if you become a trustable source of advice for that, and if you can solve that, you will stay in the business the next 50 years. But your products will change every couple of years. So stick with the problem, not with the solution. Otherwise, you will be substituted by history.
Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. I think that's a really good core type of ethos to really take with you as time evolves. I think for all the listeners that are listening to this, that as your business evolves, or you might change and do a different type of business, different opportunities come about. These are, how we do the whole supply and demand sort of thing. It's always been there. It's how we go about it, and how to stand out in the marketplace, and how to be more successful, and to, like you said, to ultimately have the life that we wanted. Most of us, we go into business for that. It's not necessarily to create ourselves a job. Some people do. That's okay. But most entrepreneurs, it's not about a job. And so again, yes, stop falling in love with your product. There's been times I've had to do that. Even earlier this year, my husband even sort of went, I could feel his reservation. He was going, and I'm going, come on, give it to me then. And sort of has a different way of looking at things. And I went, oh my gosh, you're right. I had to go and take a walk. I'm going, okay, there goes 3 months, back to the drawing board. That sometimes even that, the amount of business owners that I've met that do that, look, it's still better to do that than to go down that track and really waste more time and more money there. I think that is really a fabulous, well, actually you've shared lots and lots of fabulous pieces of gold with us. And also you've taken us through a bit of your technique and what you actually do with helping service-based businesses to double their revenue. I want to ask you a couple of other questions. Is there anything else you want to add to that before I move on?
Yeah, there is. The one question is, okay, I want to do now one bottleneck after the other. Sounds cool. But how do I know which one is the bottleneck? and how long does this analysis take me, and is there a process? So we have shared this process as it's a 15 minutes exercise that you can do, and we have shared it on a landing page called strategysprints.com/sales. You can go there and you find your current bottleneck in your sales funnel, because right now, the funky year 2020, this is about staying in the game. So get revenue fast, get market shares fast, because you will need a 12 months runway. Nobody knows what's going on. So have a good runway and get some cash injection right now. And to do that, that's the 15 minutes exercise. This is exactly what we do when we analyze ourselves and set the goal for the next week. So let's share it with the people. It's 15 minutes.
Beautiful, beautiful, lovely.
Strategysprints.com/sales.
Beautiful. And I'll have that URL so people will know that they can come to my website and to click on that URL. Not a problem. So that sounds really, really awesome. So then what else is on the horizon for you in the remainder of 2020?
We are hiring. So if you are right now at, I don't know, McKinsey, Accenture, etc., you are a great growth advisor, but you want to break free, you want to have a life. And now this is the company to join right now. We are growing and we are having fun and we are hiring the best people in the world. So yeah, come. And if you want to know more, it's strategysprints.com/hiring. You will have all the details there.
That's awesome, because I think I presumed that that's what you do is you work globally with your staff, because you're remote. So a lot of your staff are all over the place.
Absolutely. We have clients from Australia to San Diego, and our coaches can be everywhere.
That's fabulous. And I think this year has certainly proven that a lot to people. I've been trying to get people on that journey for a long time, but finally, you know, people are realizing, hey, we can work from home or wherever remotely and still achieve really quite great results, which is fabulous. So I have to also ask you then, before we do a sign off, when I was listening to one of your podcasts with JLD, you had a tip about snoring. And I'm a snorer.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm shocking. I have really bad sinuses. And I really have thought about that. I thought, oh my gosh, could I really do that? And I really have to ask then, you said it was successful. So what's the trick to it? Do you want to share that, this inside joke maybe with the listeners?
Yeah, there is nose breathing and there is mouth breathing. And if you're a mouth breather, there's a lot of energy that you give out, and then it's very well described in a book. It's called The Oxygen Advantage. But I didn't read the book. I had on my show David Allen, the GTD guru, the productivity guru, and he told he's doing it, and so I just did it. I googled the forum. What do people do who did read the book?
Yes.
And they said, yeah, they tape their mouth overnight. So I just did it. I said, before I read the book for 10 hours, I will just try it for 5 days. I just taped my mouth. My wife was, are you crazy? My kids were, will you die overnight? Can you breathe? And I did it for 5 days. It worked. I did it for a whole year. And
wow.
Now I'm a nose breather instead of a mouth breather.
That's commitment.
I have much better performance. I'm a runner. I'm a triathlete. I have a much better performance now, and I don't need it anymore because the way you breathe changes that.
Yes, and I'm very much into that, and you know, being holistic with what we do, all of the different facets of life. And I'm like, I'm going to start doing that, and my kids are going to go, "Oh, Mum, now what are you doing?"
It's funny. You wake up in the morning and your mouth is taped, and people and your family looks at you and say, "Oh my God."
Yeah, I could just imagine all my hair will be stuck, and I had to say, so it really is true. Okay, that's it, people. Let's try and do this. Let's all help ourselves out with the snoring. And
no, it's just a very, very small. It's like 2 centimeters of tape, and you put it here, and that's it.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, let's all try. Take photos. We'll send it your way. And if there's any arguments, it's not your fault.
Don't send photos like this. That would look so awkward, I think.
I can just imagine it. Oh my gosh. We can start a whole movement on this. Oh, that's so funny. Look, I really, really thank you for sharing so much wonderful information with us today. Some of it did get a bit deep there, people, and I really think that, just rewind this, listen to it again, because there's some absolute fabulous pieces of information there that Simon has shared with us that I know will help you. I will be grabbing that URL for Simon's offer, and you heard it also. He is hiring. Hold on, do I get spotters fee for this? No. So before we do a final sign off, Simon, is there anything else you would like to share with us?
But thank you so much, Sonia, for this opportunity, and keep rolling, everybody.
Sounds awesome. Keep rolling on. All right. Well, thank you very much, and we'll say see you later for now. Bye.
Bye.